choke.
Man.
Look at the monkey.
So it was mid-March, and spring was in the air in the Berkshires. And all the vintage vehicles were starting to show up on the roads. This 1950 Ford had been sitting outside my office for years and never moved. And so I bought it last fall off my landlord. I saw it sit there every day for the last year, and I couldn't bear the thought of it wasting away unused. Old machines like this spread smiles everywhere they go. And if I can give a stranger a smile just by doing what I love, then that's time well spent. It needed a bunch of work before it could pass inspection, so I brought it to one of my favorite Hilltown mechanics named Ed. But first, took a pit stop at Mason's.
How was the Cabino?
And he showed us some of the projects he's been working on.
Yeah.
What kind of wood is it all?
It's oak, curly oak. All of this stuff, all the rungs essentially are curly oak, and this is cherry, and this is purple heart.
Where'd you get that?
Little scrap over here. Get in here, huh?
Hey, come on.
Come on in. What's going on?
Top. I'll go. So, wow, what the? You didn't tell me about this.
Yeah, no.
Oh, this is a Valiant 2? It's just a 2-door drop?
Needs an engine. You know.
I've never even heard of this car.
Plymouth Valiant.
You're about to
hear
see
more.
more.
Another one?
Oh boy.
Yes. Yes. Mount Todd.
I'm Todd, yeah. You know Todd.
You know Todd. You need to acquire this.
I figured I could string one out the window up here.
Wait, I want to.
Should it go?
No, that's okay.
It's kind of like the only thing that's misfit here now.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, this could go and I could just do open shelving here, you know?
Shot home.
Right around the snowbanks, and here we were.
No pressure.
What are you saying about the highway guy was dropping the ball or something?
The guy he works for, let's call him the Jan Man, was looking to get rid of some of his cars. I've always wanted an old sedan, something the boys and I could all fit in. But there was an opportunity here far bigger than owning a cool vintage car.
Well, you gonna come out? Well, here with no drones. No drones, I swear.
Yeah, it's the best motor that was ever made in this country.
Slant.
Slant sixes.
So how did you get that car?
I'm not telling you that. All the brakes are done completely, mechanically, brand new. The motor is just rock solid, runs, you can see that in a minute. It's not been redone or anything like that, 'cause it doesn't have a lot of miles on it, so it's fine. It doesn't burn oil, doesn't do anything. They were, you know, you saw that big truck?
Mm-hmm.
That's got 380,000 miles on it, and that's got the same motor as this in it, and it's never been apart.
I was hoping it was 3 on the trees.
It is, but you'd have to switch it back.
Okay.
But there's a 4-speed in it. Because it makes it much better it's an overdrive transmission, so it makes it better for traveling on the road.
I got you.
Much better gas. So the only thing, it's got a new interior, new carpets and stuff like that. This needs to be done. The other thing that should be done is that right there, the floor there and the floor there. That needs to be cleaned up, and they have this The only other thing I know it should have is a set of shocks. It bounces easy instead of being tight. You can take it for a little ride. It's 4-speed.
Okay.
Just don't go.
Wow. This is insane.
So
It's a 1962 Plymouth Valiant, a car that had never been on my radar. But after the first time I toured the Jan Man's property and saw his collection, I was awestruck by this car. And I think he noticed my reaction. The patina, the flared fenders, the taillights, it just had personality.
how much?
Like 4,500, but I would say.
It was modest, but still pretty wild if you really knew what you were looking at. I could just picture summer nights where the whole crew piles into our little town car and we drive to the lake house for dinner. And what a cozy ride for a road trip, too.
Hey, listen. Those bumps are big deals. You find first gear all right?
I want it to be a 3 on the tree, though.
You said it's not a big deal.
If it's not a big deal, I feel like that it has to be. That would just complete it. I don't.
And if that's adjusted right, it'll be beautiful. I mean, it'll be smooth, easy to go, but you...
45 and it's like, with all that done.
Well, it would be you guys doing it under my tutelage. All right.
And that was the real opportunity. It needed some work done to it, and Mason and I would get to work on it with the help of the Jan Man. It's the best hands-on learning experience you could ask for, and the type of stuff I've wanted to do for years. But I didn't seal the deal just yet. I told him I had to think about it. I really didn't have the money after I had scaled back on client work so I could focus on my YouTube channel, and I had to start being diligent on where I allocated my resources. And so Noah and I were still wrapping up the tail end of our open projects, and the weather was nice enough to grill out in back of the office a few days. So we bought kielbasa from the local butcher and even soaked up some sun one day. All the buds were starting to sprout, and there was no denying it now. Spring was knocking. And then one of the craziest events in history began, the virus outbreak. And in the beginning, we didn't realize how serious it was and how much it would end up affecting our lives.
What do you have to say?
This is Dalton during the coronavirus outbreak day, I don't know, 3 or 4 of lockdown. Honestly, not much has changed.
It's honestly more people than usual out.
But it's pickup only at the restaurants, the ones that remain open, and it's gonna get even crazier from here, so we'll keep you updated what's going on.
Yes.
Good afternoon, you damn good kids. We're doing the giveaway. And then I finally did it. I started a Patreon and a merch store. Patreon is a place where you can support all the content I make and get access to tons of bonus content that I don't post anywhere else. All the names you'll see at the end of the videos are people who have pledged to the 3rd tier of my Patreon. And all those 3rd tier people get a handwritten note, a trout care package, and also get entered into a monthly giveaway. Every month I'll be giving away a one-of-a-kind trout and coffee item handmade by my mother Joyce. March's giveaway was this canvas bag, but it's going to be something different every time. And some months there will be multiple winners too. Because at the end of the day, the people who are kind enough to support become part of the Trout and Coffee family, and I take that very seriously. We're close-knit. I'm putting everything I have into this because I care. A lot. This is my life. It's about more than making videos. Lives can be positively impacted through authentic stories. I've read it in these comments time and time again, and it's what inspires me to never stop. So if you're interested in some of the cozy gear or supporting on Patreon, there will always be links in the descriptions of these videos. And if you enjoy these videos, another way to show support is to simply subscribe if you haven't yet. I appreciate all of you that consistently tune in and are regulars in the comments. You have no idea how much you motivate me. So with spring comes new life. And one day my mom stopped by the office with some baby chicks.
Wow, what kind is that?
Well, Orpington.
Orpington.
And those are light Brahmas, I think. The hens have 2 levels of, you can see the feathers are different heights.
Oh, yeah.
See the shorter ones in here?
Yeah.
Every other one is short. And roosters, they'll all be the same.
Ah.
And the little adventures continued. And finally, the van was in the shop. I had had this thing now for about 2 years and hardly had the chance to use it. I gutted it when I first got it and never had the time to do anything since. So finally, the dream of fully redoing it from scratch was underway. And my good friend Dan was finally bringing his dream to life too. He was starting a barbershop in Dalton, something that I know will change the town. He's a great guy and one of the best barbers around, and he's gonna breathe new life into this little town. It's always fun to see someone you know take that leap and finally chase their dream. And so Noah and I did a few more videos for one of my favorite clients, Woodlife Ranch. They had just built a new sugar house, and these were more of the kind of stories that I thoroughly enjoy telling. And every week we'd stop by to see the progress on the van.
Hey. You drive that in all black?
Tailor-made.
Tailor-made.
It had originally been spray painted green, and all the rot in the body had been covered up. I was going to be painting it an original Volkswagen color, and when it's done, it will surely cause smiles wherever it goes. And Mason and I continued chipping away at the cabin.
Mama, you showed me love. What grace in the kids of the summer.
And my mom and I squeezed in one final stop at our favorite sugar house before everything closed for good.
Look now, are you seeing your brother? I'm here on the source.
And then one sunny afternoon, we went and looked at a few houses for sale together.
By the time we're done, let all that is left be. Miles from the gun.
It does.
Oh, good grace can soothe this loop. It's in joy that I come from. Nothing here could block your truth. Beloved and enough. I'm captured by the good you do.
And Mason and I surveyed our favorite swimming hole. We wanted to try the first dip of the year early.
Now when we gonna love so loud?
Oh, we got a new tree.
Lukewarm, there's the heat in this water. Didn't see it all alone.
Out. That's about as far as it's gonna
Now
go.
you see your brother. source of your comfort. By the time I'm done, let all that is left be you. Buy us from the gun. Oh, good grace can soon be split.
We were insulating the floors and installing radiant heating so the cabin would stay warm all winter. It was expensive and a lot of work, but this is going to be home for me one day.
Yeah, right.
Love it ain't enough. I'm captured by the good beauty.
Fire, let me guess.
And one day at the cabin, the control arm on Mason's truck broke.
Why are we here?
We winning. We're fixing, we're taking care, maintenance.
And so we spent the afternoon fixing it. And that's something I admire about Mason. Any challenge that comes his way, he fixes it himself.
Have no fear. You're standing in my love.
Oh,
Have no fear. You're standing in my love. Have no fear, Russia. You're surrounded by my love. By the time we're done, let all that is left.
And we had plenty of dinners and brainstorming sessions in his new apartment. And Johnny Utah stopped by a few times too.
Grace can soon be.
parks in the mud.
It's in joy that I
What's up, guys?
How goes it?
What's up?
Living the life.
Where?
Jack up, Berkshire, up to.
And we squeezed in more of the little adventures that keep us going.
What do you mean by that?
You know,
Which number are you referring
the
to?
one, the newest one.
Oh, sure, yeah, no,
Sure.
that's an 8.
Right.
They don't make them newer than that.
It's an 8.
It's with a mouth grip. You ever heard of this?
And finally, the forest started to dry up, and I was going for hikes and runs after long days of editing. And I gotta say, my mood is greatly impacted when I exercise and spend time in nature. There's simply no mistaking how much happier I feel, especially on a golden afternoon. There's no better way to hash out all your thoughts and get the blood flowing and the oxygen moving throughout your body. I feel like a different person afterwards. It totally recenters me. And also, in terms of burning fat and making changes in your body, I don't think there's much better you can do than moving uphill. Whether you're hiking, jogging, or doing intervals, it's one of the best ways that I've found to not only stay in shape, but to see serious results. I grew up on forest trails like this, and I didn't appreciate how lucky I am to have them until recent years. And finally, the snow was nearly melted in the valley where the cabin is. This meant I could start landscaping soon. I cannot wait to show you what the grounds are going to look like. Hudson and I got out on a few adventures.
Oh, come on. What? Come on, Hud.
It's been so long. Got this cleaned up.
Yeah, it looks good.
Come on, Hope.
Who? You're scared to run it. What are you thinking? Come on, Hooter.
It had been a while since Hooter and I got away, and it felt great to go chase the golden light and breathe some fresh air together.
What are you running away? Were you scared for a second, Mr. Houdini?
The thing I love about shoulder season is that before the leaves fill in, you can see right through everything. And when it's not covered in snow, you get an honest and transparent look at the topography. It's like the forest is completely naked and vulnerable. You go places you wouldn't go when there was snow, and so you see hills and angles that you don't get once the leaves fill in. Every season is beautiful in its own way. Sometimes you just have to look a little closer. On our hike, Hooter and I came across this little pond where the Canadian geese were passing through. A sure sign of spring. You could smell it in the air. Winter was nearly packed up. Soon the trees would be budding, and the flowers would be in full bloom.
Get a big hunger coming or what?
And this was the first time in the last 4 years that I would be present for the arrival of spring. And what's more beautiful than having the time to witness the earth come to life?